Hello there, chaps. This week, I heard the devastating news that I have to get out of my beautiful soul soother sanctuary home in February. The landlord wants to move in. On hearing the news, I hit rock bottom. And I mean, rock bottom. I have been so very grateful for this home and put so much love into it, not to mention pennies, and my beautiful garden, too. I felt I would be here for years. Not 3. It took me straight back to 3 years ago when Goody passed and I had to move out of that home and set up on my own. However, the reason I mention this, is that it took me less than 24 hours to get back on board and turn it all around to being excited in the knowing that the next perfect place will present itself in divine timing, etc., and all will be well. This is what you mean by how much we have grown. Would you care to comment? Dearest Blossom, dearest souls, does not your behavior in this matter speak for itself? We understand how very much aware you were of this switch. Indeed, there had to be the questioning of why, and yet, you and those around you, had the answer in the knowing that it has to be for your greater good. You have all accepted that to go with the flow is the ultimate choice. For it is within doing so, that universal law shows up in its brightest colors. Within all of this, I felt such a strength and knowing of how to play the game. It is what it is. Keeping positive and excited will bring it to me. Yet, highest of all on the list is the trust. This again, dearest Blossom, is where you can recognize how far you have come. You have always been an example to those around you, for you are proof that when trust in all that is good is put into play, then without fail, all good things come your way. The expansion of you and so many, Blossom, in ways of your soul's understanding of how this game works, has moved forward in leaps and bounds. It is putting into practice the knowing. Admittedly, I do not deny that before the switch of attitude, I was so upset and angry. I couldn't understand why I had to lose this, when I was so grateful for it in every moment. Yet, it was so good to move on, to move through it so quickly. It felt really good. This is what you must recognize within you. Each and every one. You are the strongest of the strong. Dearest souls. In these days ahead, this is the attitude you are to adopt in all that is presented to you. There will be so much that will truly shock you and time will be needed to let it flow through you and address it for what it is. Yet, then, move on. You have had much training on personal levels. You have all endured pain and suffering in its many forms. You have had great setbacks. Each one of them has presented the opportunity for you to put into play all that you know yourselves to be. You now understand so much more of the game. You do not allow yourselves to fall into the trap of despair and anguish when a situation occurs. Yes, perhaps initially for a short while, you are human after all. Yet, look how your superhumanness shines through so easily now. Of course, in doing so, in turn, the universe responds and presents the outcome in the divine timing. This is where the trust comes in, of course. If something came up now, I couldn't take it as I cannot break my lease. So, one must let it go, in the knowing that the perfect place will show at a time when the move can fall into place without any complications. The fact my pension comes through in December is also a huge added bonus as prices here are ridiculous. The trust you have adopted for so long now, Blossom, as we have said, is an example to many. This curveball shall make you stronger than ever. Because of your attitude. We say to each one, remember that you are involved in a divine plan. This plan can only fall into place when you, as souls here on this planet, now, understand and recognize that you are a huge part of this plan. As you allow your trusting and knowing to guide you, you recognize how important it is to go with the flow of your stream. For it leads you to new adventures, to new circumstances, to the place that you need to be at an exact time, in order for the next chapter of your life to run as it should. When you trust in this way, the miracles appear almost instantaneously. When you allow your being to align with knowing that your highest good is at play, then not only the circumstance that needs the most trust is turned around and presented, yet, so many other miracles show up also. Because you kept the flow of alignment with all flowing. You are becoming masters of the game. Make it a fun game to play. I have to admit, I felt that way once jumping back on board. I felt quite excited as to what the universe, once again, had in store. I know I am surrounded by people who will help in every way to bring this about smoothly. Again, the knowing, the trusting. Dearest souls, we know that so many of you are in agreeance with that which we speak of. Maybe some are not quite there, yet. However, you will be. Each of you has traveled so far in your awareness of what is. When you make yourself your number one priority, when you love yourself, every bit of you, and treat yourself with kindness and consideration, the self-transformation is phenomenal. You are recognizing this more and more, which in turn gives you the strength to carry on in the same fashion. The more you do that, the more shows up to prove you right, and it continues on in this way. Consider for a moment how far you have come. There is not one of you reading our words, that can say they have gone backwards in their understanding. Admittedly, so much has been put out on your social platforms to confuse and bring you down and drain your energy. Consider that. There is a program in place to drain your energy. To zap life force from you, therefore, leaving you weak and disinterested. Yet, you are the strongest of the strong, and you rise above this. There are many that have dropped the intensity of trying to discover what exactly is taking place. Who is playing what move next? What is truth and what is not? It is the best thing for your mind, body, and spirit to do so. You, without doubt, will find out, in divine timing, all that has been taking place to get you to where you are going. Far better, as you have discovered, to serve your soul, than to serve a social platform that can be created to appear as truth, when in fact it could be the opposite. We are aware that in the state of America, we do not see it fitting these days to call it united, that a huge change is to present itself. I can sense the word curveball. Is this correct? It is more than that, Blossom. Be prepared. One and all. Far out. Here we go again. I feel, no matter what occurs, there is going to be upheaval. Your feelings serve you well. Have we not said that there is much upheaval to come? Yet again, let us remind you of the essence of this conversation. This is a game. The light has won. What is to take place? Is the game playing itself out? Your best maneuver is to stay calm, collected, and in your unique power. Rise above it. High above it all. Take your knowing into a place of excitement for what lies ahead. In the same context as you have done with the news of vacation of your sanctuary, Blossom. Keep in your sights the higher prospect, the higher purpose. Keep this in your sights at all times. As happened with you, Blossom, the initial shock will have an initial effect. It cannot not. Yet, with your hats tied down firmly on your heads, you know, you trust, that you are walking into a new world. A higher vibrational loving world that you have come down to here to bring about. The strength you have encountered this week, Blossom. That power within, is just a taster for what is to come. As with all things, practice makes perfect. So then, with each encounter, be it large or small, that gives you the choice to sink or swim, naturally, you will choose to swim. A dear friend of mine, who has been through a lot, as so many of us have, commented on the fact that we know we can get through it. This we do know, it is the effort involved in the doing so. She hit the nail on the head there. Yet, nothing really is an effort if it is done with joy, Blossom. Agreed. Brace yourselves for what is to come. Brace yourselves. You've never said that before. A sort of batten down the hatches feeling. No, throughout all that has and is to occur. It has to take place in order for the truth to come out. and for the darkness that has ruled your planet for long enough now, to be exposed. As this takes place, rejoice as you encounter the light filling every corner that the dark once possessed. As you feel the lightness of your planet entering your hearts and allowing you to feel the absolute truth of who you are. Something of which you, here at this time, have yet to experience. There are no words to describe how this will feel. Well, truly, that is a thought we can all hold on to see us through. Go and have a cup of tea, guys. We've got this from here. This we have always known. In gratitude. In loving service. I am.